Welcome to this lecture where we're going to take a look at for loops in Vue. For loops just allow you to loop over data and simply print that data out in the template. So first of all, let's take a look at the data we're working with. I have a person array and each element in the array is a string, a name of a person. What I'm doing is I'm creating an unordered list and I'm looping a list item. Note you can loop any element you want. You attach the v-for directive on the element you want to repeat. In this case, we're repeating a list item for each person. In the v-for directive, we say person and we also get the index. The index is dynamically created via the v-for directive. Person will receive each value. For example, each value in the person array. Each value is a person, as you can see here, or a string. So what I'm doing here is I'm saying print out the index first of all, and I also want you to print out person as well, which is a simple string. As you can see, this is replicated in the first unordered list, where we have the index, then a colon, and then the name. And that's exactly what you have here. You also need to make sure that whatever element you are repeating, you use the key binding property and you assign it the index or a unique identifier of any kind. The reason why we do this is not for our own purpose. We don't really want to use this key property. This is here purely for VueJS. VueJS manages the array. It watches for updates and changes to these arrays. And if the elements are changed, then it can keep track of each one of them via the index. This helps speed up rendering. So note that on the v-for directive, you also need a key property that's bound with a unique index. They cannot be the same, otherwise you will get an error in the console. And you are not really to use this property. It's only here for the Vue library. Next, let's take a look at an advanced array. In this case, we have the same thing where we have the person and the index. You can give this whatever name you'd like. You could call it value or whatever. So in this case, I've just chose person. And again, each value will be assigned to this variable that we're creating. And we're taking a look at each value in the advanced array. If we look at the advanced array, you can see it's an array, and each value now will be an object with a name and occupation property. So let's take a look now at what we're doing. We are printing out the index first of all, and then we are looking at the person object, because this time it's an object, and I say person.name and person.occupation. So you're perfectly capable to loop through and access objects in an array. As you can see here, that's exactly what we have. We have the index, we have the person.name, and we also have the person.occupation. Finally, you can loop through objects. Arrays are a type of object. However, we're talking about a normal standard object in JavaScript. Here we have a person object. The person object has properties, and each one of those properties has a value. So now what I'd like to do is look at each person in the person object. Now please do note that the person is now going to be the property value. So Lawrence, Jeff, Joe, and Megan. The value will be printed and assigned, each value, to person. Each value is assigned to whatever you put here, value, person, and so forth. We can also have a key. The key is the key name. The key name will be this: manager, developer, sales, or operations. It's the key name, not the value. The value always comes first. And finally, you have the index of that particular property. So let's take a look at this. We want to take a look at the index first of all. Then we want to take a look at the key. And then we also want to take a look at person. And you can even ignore what I've done here. We're just printing out the index, key, and person. You can see we have the index of 0, which this is 0. This is on the 0 index, this property. The key name comes next. As you can see here, we're printing out the key name, which is manager, and the value is what I'm printing out at the end, which is person, which is the value of that key. So that is the name of Lawrence. So we have the index, which is 0. We have the key name, which is manager. And finally, we have the person value, which is Lawrence. And that's it. You can very easily loop through arrays and objects in VueJS. And it doesn't get simpler than writing a v-for directive and then simply making sure that you've assigned a key with a unique index to help Vue manage the layout.